Okay, I call this meeting of the Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. So if everybody would stand, please, Ms. Ebel will lead us in our invocation tonight.
Welcome. It's wonderful to have all these awesome kids here with their families tonight. It's been our long-standing tradition to pray before such meetings. If you choose to pray with us, please bow your heads. Lord, please bless these children, their families, and teachers here tonight. Please protect our constables and first responders that watch over our children. Fill us with wisdom as we make decisions tonight. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Tara, if you and Rodolfo would come on up here and lead us in our pledges. You're doing the U.S., right? Okay, so you can kick us off, and then you can do the next one, and we'll look right over here at these flags, okay? So you can start us off over here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to you, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Y'all can be seated. Rodolfo, have a seat. Tara, you can stay up here, please.
Not for long.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to get to introduce Miss Tara Lewis to you guys today. She is a third grade student at Ellisor Elementary, and she is representing Ellisor Elementary as the Elementary Student of the Month. She has quite the fan club here tonight. She has many family from the wall over here to the front row, as well as several of her teachers. If you guys would just very quickly stand up just so we can see. This is very uncharacteristic like of her. She must be nervous. I'll just put this in front of her.
It's a lot.
Well, guys, Tara, I don't think I've ever seen her like this. She normally has a giant smile across her face. She is very happy to be at school every single day and happy to give her very best when she's there. She is a fabulous student. She has wonderful attendance. She takes very good care of her younger siblings. She has two younger brothers that attend our school, and she always has a watchful eye out for them. She does want to be a pediatrician, and she told me that she is looking forward to either going to school at Baylor or UT. And I am quite sure that she will achieve those goals without a problem. So I'm going to share a little bit about her from her teacher's perspective. First of all, I do have to mention this. Her favorite subject is math. And I asked her why, and she said, I just like all the things you can do with numbers. And I said, well, what do you do outside of school when you don't have math in front of you? And she goes, well, my mom buys me workbooks, and she goes, and I like to work through all of them.
We got a teacher in there.
So, here are some things that I want to share that her teachers have had to say about her. Tara is honest, hardworking, and tenacious, and she leads by example. She is one of the rare students that exhibits tenacity, respect, integrity, and compassion every day of her life. Tara is the student you can always count on to put 100% effort into her work, then turn around and lend a helping hand to a struggling peer. Tara doesn't waste her time on negative individuals. She spends most of her time with a smile on her face and spreading love and joy to anyone she encounters. She not only sets an amazing example for the other students, but also makes all of us want to be better people on our campus. We can learn a lot from Tara. I just want to say congratulations, and I am beyond honored to get to present you tonight as our Student of the Month.
Man, this is like, I just feel like announcing a graduation. I haven't seen this many people since a time like that. So I have the pleasure of recognizing and kind of introducing some of you to our student of the month, Rodolfo Garcia. Rodolfo is here with his head soccer coach, Coach Kelly, who some people may have mistaken him for a student earlier today. It happens. But I also have his assistant principal, Mr. Quinn. Mr. Quinn, give us a wave in the back there. And then, of course, the people that are most important to Rodolfo, his mom, little wave. There she is. She's filming right now. She's focused on video in this. And then his girlfriend and his girlfriend's family are here as well. So I just want to recognize them for here to support Rodolfo. So I want to start off with something that Coach Kelly shared with me about Rodolfo that I want to share with you guys. It says he's a natural-born leader and is always doing the right things to continuously improve not only himself, but also to help the people around him grow as well. He is someone that people around him gravitate to and follow. He does all of the small, necessary things on and off the field to set the example of what a student athlete should be. Reflecting on how he can get better and putting in the necessary work to see the results on the field and in the classroom, Rodolfo is the person who does what he needs to do when no one is watching, and is the true, and that is a true testament to his character. So, you know, it's great. We got a lot of athletes in the room today. It's great that you can kind of convince your coach that you're a good person. It's another thing for an athlete to also go in the classroom, and those same teachers are saying the same thing about him. So I have something to share from his chemistry teacher, or at least chemistry teacher from last year. Rodolfo is a true leader among his peers. He worked very hard in my class, but always knew how to have fun. He is caring and definitely was going to do great things after high school. And speaking of high school, Rodolfo plans to attend Texas A&M University. That's what I'm talking about. And he wants to be a psychologist after he graduates. So again, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce you to and to recognize our student of the month, Rodolfo Garcia.
Quite an honor. So Tara, you like math. We got a pediatrician in the house, right? But you like math. So we do this 9 months out of the year, and we recognize 2 students per month. That's 18, right? And we've got over 13,000 in our district. So if you're one of the 18 that were picked out of 30, got to say that's a pretty good deal, pretty good honor. That's awesome. Congratulations to you. And congratulations to you. And woo, thank you. And Mom, that's a gift from the bomb. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Let's give these guys another round. We got a packed house, Dr. Todd.
A lot of good recognitions tonight. Let's get moving.
And I think, here he is. Right. Looking for you. Your
Mr.
name?
Mr. Blizzard, school board members, Dr. Stevens, and our MISD family. My name is Foy Campbell, and I'm honored to serve this district as the Fine Arts Director. Tonight we have a few students that we'd like to honor, and I'd like our teachers to present as much as they possibly can. I was taught early on in an organization you should hire good people. We've done that. Provide them with the resources and backup that they need, the support they need, and they, on a regular basis, talk about their campus administration and the district administration and your support as school board members. So we've got that checked. And then the third thing is get out of their way and let them do their job. And I try to do that as much as possible. We want to honor some students tonight. We're going to start tonight with our Magnolia High School choir teacher, Ms. Jennifer Franz Milady, and she'll present her students. Come on.
First thing off the gate, I'd like to say, being in this district for 15 years, I always love to brag on how much support you and our administration and our board gives us, because we are in a very competitive region that their fine arts, they like good fine arts, but they don't always give it the support, the real support that it needs. So we are honored to always get to represent you as best we can. And tonight, I'm going to honor Ms. Taylor Frick. Taylor is a two-time All-Stater. She is a junior at Magnolia High School. I've had her in my program since she was a 9th grader. There's a lot I can say about Taylor. She was one of about 500 students who make the Texas All-State Choir, of an estimated 20,000 that started the process in August. So it is we call it kind of a bloodbath, but you've got to really be focused, you've got to know what you want, and you've got to be willing to work for it. And Taylor exhibits all of those characteristics on a daily basis. She is a young lady of amazing integrity, high academic standards. She is an AP student. She is in the IB program. She sings with the choral scholars down at St. Paul's Church in Houston, which is a select group of the finest young high school musicians across the Houston area. Have you done that 1 or 2 years?
This is my first year.
It's her first year to get to do this. She can sing the paint off a back wall. She is delightful. We talk music all the time. She is looking to, fingers crossed, major in music education, because we need people as gifted and as talented as Taylor. And it's just been my privilege and my pleasure to get to hang in her space and get some new ideas from the new young guns coming up. So Taylor Frick, 2nd year All-Stater for us with Texas All-State Choir.
So proud of her. The All-State Choir takes place at the Texas Music Educators Association meeting in February in San Antonio. And I wasn't able to stay for the concert, but I went to several of her rehearsals, and it was amazing what these young people can do. And a tremendous privilege for someone with her great voice to sing with other people who have the same great voice. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Bob Medina, the Director of Bands at Magnolia High School, to come present. He's got some All-Staters as well that he'd like to display this evening. So, thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, members of the school board, and our fantastic community of Magnolia. My name is Bob Medina, Director of Bands. Right here at Magnolia High School, it's a thrill to be here. Now my 2nd season with the kiddos, and this year our band did something that we haven't ever done before. According to the research that we've compiled through TMEA, we were able to get 4 of our students into the All-State, 5A All-State Band. And that's the highest number from Magnolia High School Band, and we're very, very pleased that these kids are excited about music. And we got to ride, where'd Taylor go? We got to ride down to the conference with her and hang out with her, and she's nothing but good people. And we appreciate that. Our first student, unfortunately with this weather change, fell under the weather. She's not feeling all that well, and she sends her deepest apologies. Her name is Jenna Stone. Jenna is a junior, and this is her 2nd consecutive year to make the band. Last year she was 12th chair. This year she was 4th. And it's outstanding. She also works with the Conroe Symphony. Yeah, a kiddo in the Conroe Symphony. She's outstanding, and she's one of 4 of our band students that play with the Conroe Symphony. So we are nothing but thrilled. Her parents are very devoted to the girls and have done a great job. And she's excited, and she cannot be here tonight. But Jenna Stone, 2nd year All-Stater. Our next student is just a delight. You see the family. Cole, come on up. Colleen and Lee, come on up. This is Cole Maney and his parents, Lee and Colleen Maney. This young man is a freshman. He is the only freshman to make the bass clarinet All-State Band in 5A as a freshman. And he is nothing but musical, and as you can tell, he's a big boy, and he's got strength, and he's a lot of fun to have around. And he is so focused. I learn from him on a daily basis. His parents are nothing but supportive, and they got a wonderful daughter in the mix as well. And she'll be coming up to high school soon. Right there, she is right there, yay! But you know, it's something else to go through this process. Ms. Franz had talked about the 20,000. I believe she was referring to just the choral students, but the estimate that we have from TMEA, 73,000 people 73,000 students in the state of Texas start the audition process, and less than 2% of them end up as an All-Stater, and Cole did it this year as a freshman. We're very, very excited for Cole Mania. Our next student is Mr. Jim and Kathy. Jim and Kathy's son, come here. Mr. Zawoski, JZ, Jared Zawoski. I give my kids so many nicknames. And Mr. Jackson, come on. Come on. Our band is about 160 strong, and I cannot do this by myself. I've got a great staff of people. And Jared Zawoski's nicknamed JZ. He's got an older brother that came through the program. He's got an older sister that came through the program. All three children are incredibly gifted in music. Mr. and Mrs. Zawoski are band directors. Jim is retired from the business, but has spent many years. He's a good guy, raised three great kids. Jared's a senior and made the All-State Band this year. And his teacher is Mr. Anthony Jackson, who is our percussion director for all things Magnolia, 6th grade through 12th grade. Mr. Jackson handles all things percussion. Jared Zawoski. On a side note, this past spring, Jared was also awarded a state champion medal called the OPS, the Outstanding Performer Series. He went to Solon Ensemble, and they gave out one medal in the room, and Jared got that last year. So Jared's a senior. He's an incredible talent, and we're going to miss him when he graduates. That's a good boy. And there's one more. Where are you, Jeff? There you are. Come on in. Just getting off work. We're zipping over here. Hope you had your seatbelt on, son. They're right over here. This is Mr. Jeff Keene. He is also a senior, and this is Jeff's second year to make All-State. And the cool thing about what Jeff did is he did it on the tenor saxophone, which is a great instrument. I know I've been playing it a few years myself. But never have I even thought about dreaming what this young man did. They don't take a whole lot of saxophone players in the All-State process. In fact, in the 5A, the state of Texas, the 5A bands, they only take 3. Jeff made first chair last year, and Jeff made first chair this year.
Wow.
We got some incredible kids, and I look through the early music programs. I look through our 6th grade, I look through our junior high, I look through our high school, and I come to work smiling every day, and it's a good thing. And so thank you, parents, for allowing us the opportunity to work with your children, and thank you to the community for giving us an opportunity to perform for you, to perform with you, and we look forward to great things. Jeff Keene is the son of Jeff Keene and Elizabeth Nilsson, and he's a senior, and again, we're going to miss him when he graduates. But we're very happy for our 4 All-Staters that represent Magnolia High School. Thank you all very much.
I want to thank Dr. Metz and Mr. Quinn for your continued support of the fine arts. We really appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Cheyenne Snook, our Magnolia West High School art teacher, to come up here. Cheyenne is amazing, and she spearheads our rodeo art. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to her. And students, if your artwork is on the back, if you'll stand near your artwork, and as she calls your name, you'll grab it and bring it up. I have it nicely displayed. It took me all day to get it there. But there's people in the way, so if you'll grab your artwork and bring it up with you. You don't have to move. Bring it up here with you so people can take a look at it. And these are also pictures of the real artwork because it's hanging in downtown Houston at this time. So, Ms. Snook, please tell us about these rodeo art winners.
Thank you guys so much for the privilege of getting to brag on our kids. We teach amazing kiddos. And before I actually introduce you to them, I'd like to introduce you to some of the teachers that are here. Because a lot of hard work and effort goes into to bringing up artists. So if you are one of our teachers, if you'll come and stand right here and let us introduce you, I'd appreciate that. So we have here several of our winning students. We have their teachers that are here. From Magnolia Intermediate School teaching 5th grade is Michelle Gavin. From Magnolia West High School is Marta Huntsman. From Magnolia High School is Sherry McIntosh. From Bear Branch Junior High is Kent Byers. And also from Magnolia West High School is Regina Michael. If you would, we couldn't do what we do without your support. I've been teaching in the district for 21 years, and I've taught art the whole way through, among other things, doing some other things as well. And I can say proudly that you have supported the arts. I've never asked for something that I was denied, and I so appreciate that. Our students are beneficiaries of that, so thank you to you all for all your efforts. Without further ado, I'd actually like to introduce you to the stars of the show, and we actually consider it a privilege because we get to do a little show and tell here today. And so on January 17th, 2019, we took artworks from Magnolia ISD down to the NRG Center. And we presented those to the school art committee judges. They are a group of volunteers who do a big production. They do a lot for the Houston area. They do a lot for students and all. And so we took their artwork and they judged that artwork. And they named some of our artworks winners, and so we want to show you what was done and introduce you to them. So best of show from the senior high division is Ryan Rummage, and she's going to come and she's going to present her artwork. It's titled In the Loop, and Ryan created an oil painting. This is actually a photograph of the piece. If you have a chance to go to the rodeo, look it up. It is absolutely spectacular. And so much more impressive in person and all. But we're going to go ahead and present her Best of Show award. All right, so Best of Show for the junior high division is an artwork titled Spirit Quest by Chase Sanford, and Chase is a 8th grade student at Bear Branch Junior High, and his teacher is Kent Byers. So Chase is going to present his work to us. Yes. So Best of Show from the elementary division is a artwork titled Catcher of the Alpaca Dreams. All right, come on. It's by Lindsay Flores. This is Lindsay, and she is a 5th grader at Magnolia Intermediate School, and her teacher is Michelle Gavin. A gold medal award winner from the senior high division is Ariel Harris, and she painted a beautiful landscape piece that is titled At Peace. She's a 10th grader at Magnolia West High School, and Mrs. Huntsman is her teacher. Also a gold medal award winner from the junior high division is Madeline White's artwork titled Spirit Walker, and you can go ahead and show them. She's an 8th grader at Bear Branch Junior High, and Mr. Byers is her teacher there. Another gold medal award winner from the senior high division is Jacqueline Delgado. Sorry, Jackie. Her artwork is titled A Good Afternoon. And go ahead and show them, Jackie, because we have some extra special news on Jackie's piece. It has actually been selected to be a part of the auction. It auctioned as lot number 66 out of 72 across the Houston area. So she's going to make some money off of that piece. And Mrs. Michael from Magnolia West High School is Jackie's teacher. And as Dr. Campbell said, there were several people who mistakenly thought her piece was a photograph. It's that clear and that great. All right, so a special award from the senior high is Isabel Bozard. And she has a piece titled The Domestic Gaze, and she's a 12th grader at Magnolia High School, and her teacher is Sherry McIntosh. two last and final pieces. I don't believe that the students are here. I haven't seen them. But if you have a chance, they are hanging. The gold medal award winner from elementary is Abigail Cruz, and she is from Williams Elementary. Her piece is titled Desert Beauty. Her teacher, who happens to be ill tonight, is Melissa Frost. And then another special merit award for senior high is a student by the name of Zoe Renfro. She's a senior at Magnolia West High School, and her piece is titled Roaming Through Life. So if you have a chance in some passing to see these pieces a little bit more closely here today, the photographs of them, or at the NRG Center, I would encourage you. You will know what we get to see every day, and it is superb right here. So congratulations to you all.
In closing, I want to thank you for your time, allowing us to present these students who are so deserving. And I also want to thank again the board and our superintendent and his administration and the community for supporting the arts. Thank you very much.
There's a ton of talent in this room. It's a little bit intimidating, y'all. These guys are special.
Proud of them.
That's incredible. I couldn't begin to do half of what they've done. Thank y'all for being here. So, Dr. Hebert, I think you're next.
Yes, Mr. Blizzard, we have more to come. I am Anita Hebert. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, and it's my privilege to recognize students who have earned academic achievements. And tonight I am so excited to welcome the academic decathlon team from Magnolia West High School. If they will stand and start making their way this direction. Here they are. You can hear them walking because of the bling they have around their necks. And that's why it is so exciting to have them here. They study all semester in preparation for 10 academic competitions. And I have Ms. Page here to introduce them and their accomplishments. And she has done an outstanding job of starting a new tradition of this academic success at Magnolia West High School. So I'll turn it over to her so she can talk a little bit about these guys.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hebert. Like Dr. Hebert said, these guys work really hard. They compete in 10 events. That's one of the unique things about the academic decathlon is they don't pick and choose which events they're best at. They have to compete in all 10 events. And those events include math, which this year I think was pre-cal and algebra 2. Am I right? So tough math subject they had to study. Economics, their topic this year was the 1960s, so they did this economics on the 1960s. They studied the history of the 1960s. They studied music of the 1960s, which was really fun this year. They were excited to get those music pieces. We selected art pieces from the 1960s. Literature, they studied. Science was laser science this year. That was a new one for B. So they had to study a lot of physics and lasers and light measurements for that. What else? What other subject did I leave out, guys? Let's say them all, the academic. Then they had to write an essay. Huh?
Literature.
I said literature. So they had to write an essay. They also, one of the most difficult things for a lot of them is they have to stand up and do a 4-minute prepared, memorized speech before judges. And so that is one thing they work really hard on. These guys, they come to practice every day after school when we get ready for competition. They even practice through the Christmas holidays, as well as on some of the student holidays, they practiced all day getting ready for competition. So they worked really, really hard this year. I'm very proud of their accomplishments. They took second place at regional competition again this year. And like Dr. Hebert said, that's a tradition. I hope we keep that tradition going. They also took second place in Super Quiz. Of course, we'd really like to change that tradition to first place, though. That's what we're really chasing. But they did a great job. They won 33 individual medals, and I'd like to recognize each student and their great accomplishments. So when I call your name, step forward, and I'll read the awards that you won at competition. So Sophia Ebel. Sophia won first place in essay writing, second place in interview, second in math, second in science, second in social studies, and highest team member score and 4th place honor student overall. So. Hinchley. Catherine Hinchley placed 3rd place in essay writing, 1st place in speech, and I believe you had a perfect score in speech. She had a perfect score in speech. I wish we had time for you to hear their phenomenal speeches. They were amazing. 1st place in speech, 2nd place in economics, and 5th place overall honor student at competition. We have one student in honors that couldn't be with us tonight, Orion Montano. He placed 1st in interview and 3rd in speech, but he was unfortunately not able to make it tonight. Calamace is on our scholastic team, and she placed 1st place in interview, 3rd in economics, 2nd in science, and 5th overall scholastic student. So. Reed Jackson placed 2nd in interview, 3rd in literature, 3rd in math, and highest team member score, and 4th overall scholastic student. Olivia Gallego placed 3rd in interview and 1st in speech. And we were very proud of that one. We worked hard on speech. Olivia, Kat have been with me and Calla since they were freshmen. And Olivia had a real hard time speaking in front of people when we first started. And she has just really overcame it. And she is an amazing speaker now. We're very proud of her. Jaden Adcock. Jaden is our diamond in the rough. He's our secret weapon on our team. Jaden's on our varsity team, and he comes in and he really just sweeps up medals for us. And he scored 2nd in essay writing, 3rd in music, 3rd in economics, 3rd in science, highest team member score, and 4th overall varsity student. Madison Smith, she's a new recruit this year to us, and she placed 1st in interview, 1st in speech, and 5th overall varsity student, and I think she said she's hooked and gonna stay with us next year, right? All right, good. And I also had 2 alternates on my team. One is Tess Gallegos, if you'll step forward. Tess Gallegos was an alternate on our team. She didn't get to compete this year, but what she did do is they prepare with us the whole time, and they are ready to go if we need them to step in. This is one of our first years that we didn't have to have an alternate step in, but last year we had the flu, and another year we had, I think, another case of the flu, and we had to throw an alternate in at last minute. So our alternates are very important to our team for us to be competitive, to have one ready to go on all 10 competitions. And so Tess took that honor for us this year, and I think she's a freshman as well, and she's hooked as well too. You're gonna stay with me next year, right? All right, good job. All right, and so they did a really great job. I'm very honored to have coached them, and we can't wait to see next year. Next year we're studying science and health, so a lot of history of medicine. Biology is going to be the study of cancer. So the kids are really excited. We got some real interesting topics to study next year. We're looking forward to it. All right, thank you.
What was their favorite 60s song?
What was your favorite 60s song?
It's gonna rain.
And it's probably one you haven't heard of.
Well,
it was a very unique piece. So. Thank you.
Can we play it?
Thank you.
Can we replay it?
A lot of talent in here. It keeps going, And I think Coach is next.
Absolutely. My name is J.D. Barnum, Athletic Director for Magnolia ISD. I'd like to thank Dr. Stevens and the school board for allowing us the opportunity to recognize 3 outstanding athletic programs here on both campuses. It is my privilege to call these head coaches and their teams up here to be able to recognize them and the accomplishments they have made this year. You know, what I'm most proud of is the leadership from the head coaches and the representation that these student athletes have shown throughout competition for Magnolia ISD. So that, I think that's not only that we do things right in the athletic side of things, but we're trying to build character within our young men and women. And so at this time, I would like to call Coach Radford and the Magnolia West swim team. Come on up.
thank you very much for having us here and giving us some time to recognize these fine swimmers and athletes. They spend a lot of time in the pool and stepping up in early mornings, waking up, start practice at 5:45 each day to start their day. So just kind of with that said, we start out and we go through a competition of district, regional, and state. As our state and as we did as a team, boys and girls both got third overall. We were very proud of their accomplishments. As we head on to regionals, one of our divers, she can't be here tonight, she does plenty of other sports. Grace Matoka, she plays second, just missed getting to state this year, but she, in the process, broke a state, excuse me, not a state, but a team record for the first time, so I'm very proud of that accomplishment. For our boys at regionals, they placed 6th, girls placed 10th. And I'll recognize our state qualifiers coming up next year. First, I'll start with our sophomore, Tristan Richard. If you'll step forward. I'm really proud of Tristan's accomplishments this year. He was able to qualify in the 200 IM and the 500 free for state. While qualifying for the 200 IM, he broke a team record in the 200 IM, which was previously held by one of our other seniors coming up here. I'll talk about that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But as he went to state, he ended up qualifying and placing 11th overall in the 500 free. So very proud of Tristan. Next senior I'll talk about Riley Mitchell. She qualified in the 200 IM and the 100 breaststroke at state. She ended up placing 12th overall in the 200 IM. So very proud of her accomplishment. And next, our senior Alex Flores. He's the one I was talking about. Well, lost the record, but he's got plenty of other records up there. He qualified in the 200 and 100 freestyle at state. He placed 4th in the 200 free and placed 5th in the 100 freestyle. Don't feel too bad for him because he lost that record. He was able to break his 200 free record at state. He holds the 500 record. He broke the 100 freestyle record. He broke the 100 fly record. Did I miss anything else? Another one? 50 free record. So he's got a whole list of them, but very proud of what he's done and these guys for this team. So with all that said, congratulations, guys. And very proud of you.
At this time, I'd like to call up Magnolia High School swimming and diving team and Coach Kaminsky.
As they make their way forward, we had a very successful year. You have a trophy, put it up. It should be up front. We had a very successful year, just as Coach Radford said. These kids wake up 6 a.m. every single day, and most of them swim in the afternoon as well, so they're probably spending 10, 12 hours in the water every single week trying to prepare just for districts, regionals, and state. And everybody up here was a part of our varsity district team this year. This year, both the girls and the boys won the varsity district title, which was the first time that we've ever won both in the same year, so that was a great accomplishment. Moving on to regionals, the guys took 3rd and qualified 3 individuals and 2 relays to state, and the girls won the regional title, qualifying all 3 relays and 5 individuals to state, which was a huge accomplishment this year for them, which is a huge step up from last year. And so I'm going to recognize our state swimmers, so when you get your name, come step forward. I'm going to start with the guys. State qualifier for our 200 medley relay and 200 freestyle relay, McKinley Mouton, sophomore. Couldn't be here tonight, but he qualified for both relays and the 200 freestyle and finaled in the 200 freestyle was Mason Mahicek. Sophomore, Gustavo Ott. He finaled in the 200 IM and the 500 freestyle, and he also set a new school record in the 500 freestyle. Sophomore Jet Livey. He is our diver. He took 5th, and actually an interesting story about Jet is he never done diving until August. So that's a really huge accomplishment for Jet. So congratulations right now. And our last male state qualifier is our senior, Torsten Henze. He was a 100 butterfly finalist, and he also now holds the school record in the 100 butterfly. Our boys finished 16th this year at state. Our girls went to state, and they ended up taking 2nd place overall. What's probably the most impressive thing about taking 2nd at state was they only were able to podium once in the entire meet, which is pretty unheard of at a meet of that caliber, that only one person podiums, which means it was a full team effort by all these young ladies standing up here. First, for the 200 freestyle and 400 freestyle relays, junior Maddie Kohlmeyer. Sophomore, our diver, Jada Shorter. Sophomore, the 100 butterfly school record holder now, and she had to swim all 3 relays for us at state, Kaylee Turner. Sophomore, 200 IM finalist and breaststroke top 8, Presley Heitzman. Sophomore, top 8, 50 free, 100 freestyle, Noelle Marsh. Junior, 200 IM, top 8, and our only medalist, breaststroke, 3rd place, and a new school record, Olivia Gonder. And they were led by their senior and captain, who made my job very easy this year, senior 200 and 500 freestyle finalist, Kylie Moriarty. Great job, guys. Nice year. Thank you very much.
In the 3rd program, they'd like to recognize is Coach Kane and the Magnolia High School basketball team. Come on up, guys.
Thank you. I'm Coach Kane. This is my 2nd year as the head coach for Magnolia basketball. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank the board and thank our administration. I think our success and the things we're able to do is more tied to what y'all do for us than they realize, or than we realize sometimes, so thank you. And I want to thank especially Travis Moffitt, who, if y'all didn't know, he announces all the home basketball games. And if you haven't got a chance to hear that, it's pretty amazing. But
can't even say a word in here.
I want to take the opportunity to let y'all get to know our basketball team. So first we have Nikki Klug. Nikki's a junior at Magnolia High School, and he got injured at the end of the year, but he came off the bench, and he could we could always count on him in scoring. He could finish at the rim, and he could really light it up from the 3-point line. All right, then we got Andrew Bauer. All right, he's our little young one on the team. He has a lot of skills, and he's a guy you can count on to take care of the ball, and he plays great defense, and we're looking for great things from him in the future. Then we got Jordan Ratliff. All right. Jordan's a junior. This is his first year on varsity, and he really grew throughout the year, and he ended up being our leading scorer throughout district, and he could make plays, and he was also a great defender for us. And he really appreciates getting 2 claps. Nate Gill, all right, the 5'6" powerhouse. All right. Always have to have somebody on the team that I'm taller than, but Nate's a senior, and he really took over the role of really the best perimeter defender in the district, and it was a benefit for us that we could put him on the best player, which we have a district full of really good players, and he could take care of him. We wouldn't have to worry about him. So having a guy like that on our team that has those abilities was invaluable to us this season and a big part of our success. All right, starting back at the back, we have Hezekiah Livings. All right, Hezzy is, as you can tell, is maybe a little goofy and a little, but everybody loves him. He's one of those glue guys that always brings a smile to everybody's face when times get tough. And if y'all haven't seen him play, he can bring it down. And there's some great things coming from him. He's going to put in a lot of work this offseason, and I would look out for Hezekiah Livings next year. Next, we got 6'8" Marco Susik in the back. Marco's had a tough go over the last couple of years, but he's dislocates his shoulder every once in a while, and he played about 7 games for us this year, and then dislocated it again, and then we all decided just to go ahead, and he got surgery where it's supposed to be taken care of now, hopefully, and I know he going through that and sitting through every single practice and every single game and watching instead of getting to participate, but still showing up and keeping a positive attitude. I told him I was real proud of him for that. And that says a lot about his character and personality. He's willing to do that, and I know he's ready to play next year. All right. And then we got Connor Limble. Connor is a sophomore. I've been watching Connor play since he was in 3rd grade at camps and stuff, and he had a brother that graduated last year, another brother on the team this year, 2 Limbles on the team this year. And he is the first game. I told him the first play of the first home game this year. I knew that he was ready and he was going to be a starter for us. And he just grabbed the ball off the tip and just went full speed, no hesitation. And as a sophomore, to not be scared and not to be nervous, not to back down, and it just says a lot. And he can light it up from anywhere on the court. If they give him a chance to shoot, he's going to make it. He's going to make it. That's how I feel right now. And you're going to see some great things out of him in the future, and he's going to be a leader, and he's going to be a scorer for us in the future. So watch out for him. Andrew Bergenholt sitting here, but there's Scott Salerno. Raise your hand, Scott. All right. You can see, for one, the love that everybody has for Scott, and he brings so much to our program and does so much for us. He films for us, he coaches for us, he runs drills in practice for us. He had pads today, and he was knocking the kids out with pads, and he's just a guy that you can count on to do anything that a coach can do, and he's a part of the team just like everybody else, and he lifts weights with them and does everything. So we're real proud of you, Scott, and looking for, he's only a junior, so we get him back 1 more year. All right. All right, we got Uncle Felder back there. They call him Uncle Felder because he has an old soul, and I think he's way more mature than everybody else, maybe. But he is a natural-born leader, and he's a guy that I could tell something to, and he would just go make it happen. He'd make everybody fall in the line and keep us on target. And whenever he went in the game, he was the hardest player on the court. All right, so Proud of you, Evan. Lawson Lowry, all right? Lawson doesn't know quite what he's capable of yet, but me and his dad and Coach Kovac and everybody else have been trying to convince him of it for a while. And I think if you were at the playoff game and you saw he had 19 points on the defensive lineman that's going to UT, and it was pretty easy for him to get that. And he's capable of a lot, and if he would just drop middle, I think he could score 19 a game, but that's a little inside joke. But I'm proud of him. He rebounds for us, he defends for us, and having two bigs like that can both score was a huge part of our success, and he's also a star in the classroom as well. All right. Okay, then we got Brandon Limble. All right, so if you haven't don't remember, we talked about Connor Limble a little while ago, and his brother Andrew Limble graduated last year, and we got Dustin Limble coming next year, hopefully. So we're happy that it's kind of a family thing, and Brandon is I hope I don't hurt your feelings, but he can't shoot. He can barely dribble, but he has more heart than anybody I've ever coached. And he started for us, and he played on the wing, and he was able to do those things because he has more heart than anybody else and plays harder than anybody else ever plays. So I'm proud of you. And what number are you in your class? Number 4 in his class. Then the man in the middle, Josh Laramendi. All right, he got keyed on a lot this year. You know, everybody that in our district scouted us, they would double him, triple him, grab a hold of him, especially those West guys. I have a picture of it. But for a leader and your 6'7" stud coming into a senior season to be unselfish enough to, because a lot of our times our game plan was to pass it into him, let him get doubled and tripled, and then play off of that and pass it to the open guy. Never one time did he ever act like or make it seem like he wanted to get his shots off or score his points, and not one time. So I respect that, and that means a lot because it's about getting the wins and about your team and about your family. And Josh understands that without me ever having to tell him. He also was the defensive MVP of the district. And I talked about Nate earlier being the guy on the perimeter. Well, he was the man in the middle. So if they ever did get past our perimeter, they had to go by him, and he could swat it. So he could get up and swat it. So I'm proud of him. And he will, in some form or another, it's still all up in the air. But I think he told me he got his first offer from a junior college on the way over here today. Wow. So getting recruited in basketball can be a very tough process, right, Mr. Moffitt?
Yes, sir.
And Josh is going through that right now, but he's got some things to look forward to, and he'll be playing at the next level too. I think you a little bit about our season. I think you learn the most from your mistakes, and when times get tough. And the thing I'll say about this team is we have a lot of new faces from last year, and we knew we'd have to go through some bumps in the road, but and they went through those bumps early in the season, and they had a choice to either turn on each other and not come together or to give up, and they went the other route. They came together, and they learned from their mistakes and from our mistakes and from my mistakes, and they ended up 8-6 in district and making the playoffs. And we were the number 4 team, and we played the number 1 team, and we're leading in the 4th quarter and had a chance to beat them, and I'm proud of them because they gave that team everything that they wanted, and looking forward to a lot of returners next year, and the seniors leaving a good legacy for them for next year. Thank you.
Coach Burnham, let's take this one out of order right now while we got it on the athletic side. So this is really your first board meeting as the official athletic director, isn't that right? I mean, where you're
That is
actually
correct,
at
yes, sir.
here? All right, well, with your departure from Magnolia West, we had a football coaching position open there. And so do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about our process and where that has sort of ended up?
Yes, sir. Throughout the process, obviously, with me coming into this position, opened up a position as the campus coordinator, head football coach at Magnolia West. And so throughout that process, obviously, we addressed it on the school website as far as the job description. I posted on Texas High School Coaches Association, so it went across not only the state of Texas, but across the United States. Throughout this process, I had 72 applicants that applied for the Magnolia West campus coordinator, head football coach position. Had probably about, I'm going to say, 10 to 12 that were out-of-state candidates that applied for this position. And throughout this process, we conducted interviews with the committee. I believe last week we did that process, and then throughout that process, obviously had some really outstanding candidates that came and interviewed head coaches at different school districts, and so throughout that process, Tori, come on up, Tori. And so throughout this process, there's one guy that that stood above the rest, and through that process, obviously. He's kind of embedded into the program at Magnolia West. Me and him have, been together for, I believe it's going on 6 years. And, before we came here, we were at Temple. He was a coach at Temple with me and Coach Spradlin. Obviously, when I took the job at Magnolia West, he was the first guy I hired. And he was here day one since we've been here at West. And so, anyway, throughout that process, the guy that stands here in front of you, Blake Joseph, is the guy that we have chosen to be the next campus coordinator, head football coach, and he's a guy that's a stand-up guy. He's a guy that has, like I said, has been entrenched to the program, know what it's about. He understands the standards that we're trying to set. Not only does he understand the standards that we're trying to set, he's going to take that to another level. And so I'm extremely proud and excited for him and his opportunity, and be able to see the things that he's going to do with Magnolia West. And with our young men and women in his new position.
Guys, I'm going to be brief. Deeply blessed to be standing here tonight. I'd like to thank the school board for allowing me to be here tonight. Thank Dr. Stevens, Dr. Bullock, Coach Berna, and Dr. King, wherever you're at. I appreciate you too. Thank my coaching staff for being here tonight too. Got a great group of guys that we work with, and I'm extremely excited for the future of Magnolia West, the Magnolia West. That's all I got to say, Dr. Stevens.
Well, Coach Joseph, let me just throw a few things in there. We're proud, first of all, of your body of work at Magnolia West and the coordinator position there. And we're so pleased that you will be able to continue the tradition of having great men as our football coaches at Magnolia West. And you got some big shoes to step into, but I think you're fully capable of doing that from your playing career and your coaching career. And we just want to urge you as a board and as a community to go out and coach the game of football to those young men. But as you're coaching football, teach those young men about life. And teach them about loving one another and working hard and giving their best at everything, because that's a part of what this community is about. And I'll tell you, through my years with the coaches here, it does my heart so much good when I hear folks from other districts, whether it's about our swimmers, whether it's about our volleyball gals, whether it's about our football team, that they compliment the way our kids interact and play, whether they win or lose. That says something special about this community and the way. And so bring them up that way, Coach. Yes. And we're proud for you. Look for great things to happen at West and at West Nation over there. But let's go to work, man. And appreciate Tori and the family there. they're proud of him too.
Thank you, Coach. A lot of talent in this room, a lot of athletes in this room, and we've got one more set of folks we want to recognize tonight. Ms. Owens is going to come up here.
It's a full house. Can you hear me okay, everybody? Okay. Well, I just want to thank you for inviting the Magnolia Education Foundation to be part of the meeting tonight. My name is Dasha Owens. I am honored to serve as the MEF president. We appreciate having the opportunity to be here to recognize all of our amazing 2019 grant winners. So before we talk specifically about the grant winners, I just want to take a moment to introduce a few key MEF individuals and board members that are here tonight. These individuals volunteer their time and talents, working so hard throughout the year, all for raising funds for our educators. And I would like to see them come up here and join me during my presentation, if you would. So first, I want to introduce you to Tina Slansky, She is our finance expert, and she serves as our treasurer, and we appreciate her work so much. I would also like to invite Karen Thomas. She has taken the lead with being our grant chair for this year, and also partnering with the Lone Star College in establishing our first ever MEF endowment. So we welcome Karen. I'd also like to invite Kira Sears Elliott to come up here. She chaired our recent and very successful Denim and Diamonds Gala at the Magnolia Event Center recently on February 2nd. We raised just over $20,000 for that event, so we're excited. And I'd like to also introduce Jen Blackburn and Rachel Terry. They serve as our MEF Campus Champion Liaison Co-Chairs. It's a mouthful, I know. Their job is critical as it keeps the lines of communications open back and forth between MEF and our individual campuses. They tell all about our great programs throughout the year, so we appreciate you being here tonight. I didn't see her. She may be hiding there. I see Chrissy Leggett. Am I getting that right? Leggett. Okay. Chrissy Leggett. She recently stepped up to be a member on our board, and we're so excited. She's representing community impact on the board and also helping as a campus champion specifically for Magnolia West, where her daughter attends as a freshman. So we're excited to have her as well. Next, I'd like to welcome Leslie Scotty. She is here. She actually reads on our grant committee every year, and we appreciate that. And she also represents one of our wonderful partners and donors with Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott Law Firm. So we just enjoy always having her as part of the board. So I welcome Leslie. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome Laura Cruz and Denise Myers. If they would like to come up, these are individuals that work for the district, but they constantly help MEF navigate the best way to give back to the district. So we just appreciate their contributions. So this is, a fantastic group, and it's steadily growing. And now that I have just part of our MEF family, there's even more that couldn't be here tonight. So we just want to finally celebrate together why we're here, and that is to finally recognize all of the terrific educators that were chosen to be our 2019 grant winners. So through fundraising efforts all throughout this past year, we were able to go out a few weeks ago for Grant Patrol and award in the form of grants just over $53,000. Our MEF Grant Reading Committee received over 40 applications to read over the holidays. As a grant reader myself, I speak on the behalf of the committee that there is so much hard work and research and time that goes into these applications by these educators and teachers, and it truly makes us so happy to know that we were able to grant 18 of those applications to see their reality. We went to 11 of the 15 campuses within the district, and we saw nothing but heartfelt joy and excitement from over 50 hardworking and passionate educators. And we couldn't be more excited about the chance to honor them, honor you, all the grant winners tonight. So without further ado, please, as we announce your winning grant and hear your names, please join us at the front to take a group photo with us, the school board, and then also Dr. Stevens, if you'd like to come up here when we have everybody up here. So I would like to ask Karen and Tina if you wouldn't mind to grab the big check and then present it to our grant winners for our picture, our photo op a little bit. So first, I'd like to welcome from Magnolia High. We have 2 grants for Magnolia High this year that won, and one's called Insane in the Membrane. And we have Tracy Byer. Did I say that right? And I'm going to list the name for this grant and we'll hold applause. It's Alexandra Cypress, Leslie Reese, Victoria Frederick, Allison Avenshine, and Chelsea Gage. They're just you. Okay, perfect. Well then, we also have Tracy won another grant. She can step forward again. And it was called Shining Light on Experimental Design. So we are really happy for her to be up here. Next, we have Magnolia West High represented. And Cheryl Tamburillo couldn't be here tonight, so we have Christina Brazil. She is here to be on her behalf, and she won the Disc Golf grant. So it's going to be a fun one. Next, we have 3 grants that were won at Magnolia Intermediate. The first one is the Learning Carpet Book Clubs, and it's a department grant, so let me name all of them and hope I get all the names correct. Natasha Fogelsong, Carly Seagraves, Misty Thomas, Brooke Ballast, Shauna Hood, Kathy Herbrick, and Jackie Dolan. So that was the Learning Carpet. The next grant from Magnolia Intermediate is I'm not saying that wrong. Evie Chiffon, and it's the grant Access for All Learners. And the third grant from Magnolia Intermediate is Social Issues Book Clubs, and it's Janice Hewitt. If you'd like to come up, we will. We have a lot of grants, y'all, so bear with me. We've got Lyon Elementary represented today with 2 grants, Enhancing Math Stations, Misty Anderson. And Raising Readers and Creative Thinkers, Carrie Sabo. We also have Magnolia Elementary represented today with the grant win, and it's Classroom Coping and Calm Down Centers. And I'd like to invite Ray Chafin and Connie Swearingen, please. We have a grant that 2 librarians that are from Magnolia Elementary and Smith Elementary. The name of the grant is Magnolia Reads Jubilee, a free book summer reading kickoff. It's going to be a very huge, big event. We're excited, and we'd like to invite Allison Love and Trisha Hacker to come up here. And next we have Williams Elementary with a grant win, and it's entitled Where's Your Wiggle At? And we'd like to invite Christy Lott and Deborah Curtin to come up. Next, we have Magnolia Junior High, represented with another grant win, and that's Access Equals Success. And there's a group, it's a department grant, so there's a lot. Okay, we've got Kristen Betts, Amanda Dunn, Brittany Gassaway, April Gonzalez, Michaela Noman, Tiffany Roach, and Jennifer Smith. So we welcome. Okay, Bear Branch Junior High, we have a grant win, and it's entitled Building Book Love and Community of Readers, and that goes to Lauren Roig. We also have, we have 3 grants that came from Smith Elementary. First is Will You Be My Buddy? And that was written by Faith Platschi. We also have This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine is the name of that grant. And Katie Mitchell and her 3rd grade team wrote that grant together. We have a lot of reading, and so we have another You Read, I Read, Let's Read Together, and that was a department grant as well. It's Holly Swanky, hope I'm saying that right, Jamie Jabsinski, Diana Gonzalez, Lindsay Matheson, Sarah Kennedy, and Magdalena Nino. Did I say it? Did I do it? All right. We have Ellisor Elementary with also a big win. This is a department grant as well. It's called Full Stream Ahead with Science, Technology, Reading, Engineering, Advanced Academics, and Math. And we have Penny Alschlegel. I thought I was going to get it right, but I'll work on it for next year when you write another grant. Whitney Turner, Laura Sanders, and Victoria Masichek. So you can see we have a big group. We have also a grant that's represented from Bear Branch Elementary, and I kind of want to close it. I don't want to bring the mood down, but I do want to just kind of give a little story and give the heart of MEF. So Bear Branch Elementary, they won a grant, Bass and Beat Sound So Sweet, and Krista Nelson was the writer of that grant. She couldn't be here today because of a recent and tragic loss of her brave son just a couple of days ago. And the reason I share that with you today is that we talk a lot about MEF building community. At MEF, we talk about building community within the district. That's one of our main missions. And so I just want to briefly share this email exchange. So I sent an email out to our grant winners this morning, just reminding them to come, and we have a great turnout, so thank you very much. And then I received an email back later this afternoon from Krista Nelson. And here she is in the midst of dealing with her loss of her son, and she made it a point to acknowledge my email and let us know that she was not going to be able to be here tonight, but showing the appreciation for the grant. And I just share that because it's a perfect example of the huge heart, and I'm going to get huge heart and passion that I witness, and I know our MEF board witnesses time and time again with this great district, with our community of educators. So in closing today, I just first ask you to lift Krista Nelson's family up in prayers, and then I want to put our hands together for these amazing educators that are all up here. Congratulations to each and every one of you. We look forward to your innovative projects coming to life. We hope to see pictures and videos and everything from all that is to come. And we appreciate the tireless hours you give day in and day out, and the passion that you have for educating our students. So we hope these grants are just a small way to to express our gratitude for all you do. So stay warm, be safe going home, and have a great night. Thank you.
Okay, I want to be sensitive to those who've been standing a long time, but you know, graduation is a destination for a lot of these guys, but what a journey. I mean, this is just wonderful. Look around and take part of it. We've got one more guy we want to welcome tonight. He used to be with the MEF, president of the MEF, president of the school board, another elected official with us tonight, Mr. Charlie Riley. We want to thank him for joining us tonight. All right, guys, thank you very much. At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute break. For those of you who want to leave, we're not encouraging it, but if you want to stick around, please do so. If you don't, that's fine. Thank you.
They all want to leave.
Well, you can. It just goes downhill.
Ms. Hinkleman, do we have anybody signed up to speak tonight?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, thank you. And I believe Dr. Hebert is up first.
I believe so. And so tonight, as part of a curriculum report and just keeping you guys familiar with some certain things in our instructional program, we are bringing you a spotlight report on pre-K. Our youngest students in the district, and we are, they're kind of a group sometimes that can be forgotten because we talk about K through 5, we talk about elementary, but this is their first taste of school, and so we're excited. We have some additional speakers tonight here to share with you the heart of that program and how we get kids started in school. In Magnolia ISD, currently, we offer a half-day pre-K program. We have a morning group and an afternoon group, but it's only to students who qualify for that program. And it is funded by the state, but for those who meet these eligibility requirements. Either they're an English language learner, they're economically disadvantaged, meaning they qualify for free and reduced lunch. They are maybe a homeless student, a child of a member of the armed services, and then we have some special needs students who qualify, and it's their ARD committee that makes that decision if coming to school for pre-K is the correct decision. So these are the students who make up our pre-K program that is currently operated at 7 of our 8 elementary schools. And it is, as you know, that's quite a topic around the country, in fact, is the importance of early education. Not only have the studies shown that they're less likely to be school dropouts, teen parents, be a part of violent crimes, but also that they're more likely to be academically successful and go on to college if we have a high quality pre-K program and build certain skills in literacy, in language and vocabulary, in mathematical and analytical thinking, in social skills, personal care, and basically having them ready for school. There was a study I think Ms. Haley shared with me last week for kids who aren't part of a pre-K and haven't had books read to them repeatedly at home, that you would have to read 500 books in the first month of kindergarten to catch up the difference between the kids who have had regular education and the ones who haven't had those access to those opportunities at home. Wasn't it great to hear all of the teachers looking for books to fold into our community? And so that's what a lot of what pre-K does, is build the foundation for all of those skills. And so, as you know, that is a big push in the state right now for a high quality pre-K program, and it's quite a conversation even going on in Austin. How can we continue to develop and do that? The last legislative session, as you know, Governor Abbott, it was one of his initiatives, and he funded a pre-K grant that our district applied for and got, that helped us to put in some initiatives, and one was to implement the new state pre-K guidelines that really upped the standards for pre-K in Texas. We're also required through that to measure the progress of the students, to see how they're doing from when they come in till the end of pre-K, and are we getting them ready in our pre-K program. It required us to help our teachers meet some high quality requirements with training and with the certification and expectations for them. And it also asks district to seek to try to have an 11-to-1 adult to student ratio in the classroom. And that is not teacher to student. That means we could have a teacher and some paraprofessionals supporting, but that those students had adults who helped work with them and help build their program. In addition to this, and to help us meet that 11-to-1 ratio, in Magnolia ISD, we joined with our special education teachers and put kind of the two jobs together. We had special education teachers who were teaching the 3- and 4-year-olds with special needs in a separate room, and then we had our pre-K teachers teaching pre-K, and the special ed would join in sometimes. Well, what we asked our teachers, and they stepped up to the occasion, and they got both those certifications. So we can have those kids meeting together and meet the federal requirements for special ed and come together from the time they enter school. They can be in the same classroom together. And that was a great job on our teachers' part to pick that extra load up, and they've had a really great attitude about it. And we'll hear more about that tonight. And since that time, the grant's gone away, as good grants from TEA do. But we're still working to meet these high-quality requirements, and they are now requirements. There's a new Rider 78 that we have to report to the state how we're meeting them. And so I'd like to turn it over now to Kim Lupton, who's our RTI Early Literacy Specialist. She works with the pre-K teachers and programs on a regular basis, and then she'll introduce our two teachers that we have here tonight to tell you a little more about pre-K.
All right, good evening. So to help with Rider 78 and to ensure that our students are receiving a high quality education in Magnolia ISD, one thing that happens in Magnolia ISD is we are part of the Texas School Ready program. And with that, Texas School Ready is a partner with University of Texas and with the Children's Learning Institute. And so in partnership, they host Circle Training, which is CIRCLE, which stands for Center for Inspiring the Readiness of Children for Learning and Education. And our teachers attend a 2-day training, and during that training, they get to hear all about what makes a great teacher, what skills do they need to bring to the table to help our 4-year-olds. They learn literacy and print awareness, phonological awareness, and all things pre-K, how to work with our pre-K babies. We also, all of our teachers are part of CLI Engage, and this is an online comprehensive platform where teachers can log on and they have professional development that directly correlates to classroom implementation. Also with CLI Engage, the teachers are able to track students throughout the year on progress towards meeting those pre-kindergarten guidelines. And once that data is collected, it's housed in the CLI Engage platform, and the teachers can pull that information and use that for planning their lessons and for direct student small group instruction. So this is what the CLI Engage platform looks like. As you can see, teachers have a wide range of access. They have screening and progress monitoring. They have online professional development where the teachers can log on at any time, home, at school, anywhere, and they have professional development. They can actually watch other teachers teaching lessons. There's hundreds and hundreds of activities and materials for teachers to use. And then the last thing you see is the quality improvement and innovations, and that houses all of the state guidelines, expectations, parent information, and any new information that's coming down through the state. As part of the assessment and our ongoing, we start beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year with our pre-K students, and this is what is included in the assessment. As you can see, it's very extensive, and it goes everywhere from our literacy, phonemic awareness, math, science, social studies, and even goes into the student social and emotional development, their physical health, which is their fine motor skills and gross motor skills. And also, as part of the High Quality Initiative, we have implemented something called the Classroom Environment Checklist. There are very specific guidelines for what is expected in a pre-kindergarten classroom. And so during the school year, beginning of year and middle of year, we just take a look at those classroom environment, making sure that they are meeting the instructional needs of our students, and that there's meaningful print and center materials in every one of our classrooms. And then the overall design of the classroom is conducive to students' maximum growth. And then one other thing that we have implemented is parent involvement. So parents also have access to that CLI Engage website where they have developmental milestones, they have activities that they can use at home. They can also look at their students' academic growth using that, that the teachers have assessed them with beginning, middle, and end of year. Our pre-K students and teachers also participate in the academic parent teacher team nights, and they also host an additional open house during Christmas time and individual conferences as well. And so now we're going to hear from a couple of our outstanding pre-K teachers about just what it means to live a day in the life of a pre-K teacher. And so we have first Valerie Engelke from from Nicholsonville Elementary, and then we have Beatrice Stair, and she's from Williams Elementary.
Thank you so much. I want to first thank you for this opportunity. Pre-K sometimes is an island of our own, so thank you for this board and also Dr. Hebert for including us in tonight's presentation. So for our curriculum, pre-K we have had in the previous years, Big Day was kind of like an all-inclusive curriculum for us. Great things, lots of foundation, gave us information for small group instruction and also intervention. You'll see some examples here of our kiddos that are in their centers doing independent work with the material that we've already covered in whole group, and this is their extension lessons. All right, I need to go back one. If my four-year-olds here, they can help me with this. Okay, our Orgo, we were very excited and appreciate the support here. We have just added Orgo in the last 2 years to align with our upper grade levels for the mathematics foundation. And with Orgo, it is lessons that begins in whole groups, then they get to take it on to their own, build from it there in their centers. This is all part of their instructional time. You'll see some of our kiddos here doing sorting. All 3 of these here are in our center times. For STEM scopes for science, this has been a great addition to our curriculum. You will see that pre-K is all about being exposed to it, then getting to feel it, play with it, make things with it as you're learning enriched vocabulary, social skills. It all encompasses each of our curriculum. You might recognize the cutie with the curly hair in that second picture. That would be Langston King. He's one of my sweet little friends. But just for an example, when some people think of pre-K and they haven't been exposed to it, life and day of a 4-year-old, I just want to show you here if you can see. So here, these are our future entomologists. They are working with the insects and learning all about them. Here we're up to our elbows. We are digging for fossils and any other things we can find. This, I was to the veterinarian center, and this is when we are doing our 5 senses. These are lessons that with pre-K, all grades, but especially with pre-K, these kiddos are coming from a disadvantaged situation. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to not just teach them, but then also expose them to them. They don't have access necessarily to this at home. They unfortunately don't make trips to the library on a regular basis. They're not getting this language-rich environment at home. So we're trying to close that gap with this curriculum. But we also, this is the first time they've been exposed to a social environment at school. We're learning a lot about how to move from one spot to another at school, how to follow directions at school, how to be a friend at school. And our lessons start off, you might recognize the star of some of these slides, very own Mrs. Evil. When we talk about pre-K, we talked about planned, purposeful, and playful. The reason being is the enrichment we bring to the pre-K kiddos, this started off with a book that Mrs. Evil had chosen. She loves to come in to read our kiddos. Our door is always open to her. She had chose this book make maybe something beautiful, and it's a true story about a young girl that wanted to add beauty to our community. From the reading of that book, it went on to be that we came back and we actually made our own murals that you'll see. This is the culmination of this project that we did. First day reading the story, the kids actually planning what they wanted to do to make their school beautiful and bring joy to everyone at their school. So thank you for that, Mrs. Ebel. And last thing I wanted to focus on is we have a lot of outcomes that we need for 4-year-olds going into kindergarten. So what I did is I made a small shot, just picked one of them, and I focused on the alphabet. And these are just my kiddos from this year. So our beginning of year average, out of all my kids that I tested at the beginning of the year, on average, they could recognize and name 5 letters of the alphabet. That's average. So we just completed our middle year, and we are now at 16 letters, which is amazing. I'm so proud of them. The end of the year outcome for our state recommendation is at least 20 letters. So you can see if a child comes in, has not gone to pre-K and enters kindergarten with 5 letters of the alphabet, they're already behind the curve. So here we have kindergarten readiness when they start kindergarten, they do not focus on the alphabet letters at a time. They will begin reading in October and November. So can you imagine if they do not know their letters and they're going to read in October and November? That's going to put them already behind. So that is one of our biggest focuses, is to get them to meet all their outcomes by the time we can get them off to kindergarten and close that gap for them so they have the same advantages and opportunities as their peers. Okay? Ms. Stearns?
Good evening. My name is Beatrice Dare. Thank you all for having us here.